Today, we're going to be covering the topic of Ki from Dragon Ball. I believe that most of the fans don't actually understand this topic, and especially since there's so much controversy around power levels all the time, yet power levels and Ki are one and the same thing, so it's crucial that Ki is understood as well. In an interview from the Super Exciting Guide, Toriyama was asked, "What is the key to winning in battle?" In which he also explained what Ki is. Toriyama said this: "In battle, the most important thing is the size of your Ki and your control over it. Ki as a concept, of course, includes such spiritual powers as energy, or Genki, courage, or Yuki, and the right-mindedness, or Shoki. No matter how much you train, there are limits to physical strength, and the only way to overcome that is through Ki." I think Goku was able to approach the mightiest warriors in the universe through strengthening his Ki. So based on Toriyama's breakdown, Ki is made up of 3 of these components. So we're going to start off with Genki. This is the most common part that we're going to see throughout all of Dragon Ball. We see it in all of the different types of Ki attacks, such as Vegeta's Big Bang attack, or Frieza's Death Beam to Gohan's Nisenko, and Goku's Spirit Bomb, which is also called the Genki Dama, and so on. In terms of the Dragon Ball world, Genki is the only physical part of these 3 components. Now, if you ever wanted to learn Japanese, initially one of the first words that you're going to encounter is Genki, which can simply be translated to "how are you?" Yet the meaning of this pervading word is obscure, and most dictionaries are going to translate it to good health, spirit, or vigor. Now, I'm sure that at some point that we've all heard this sort of phrase either on the television or in a movie, or maybe even from a yoga instructor, talking about centering your chi or focusing your ki. In fact, the Japanese word for ki evolved from the Chinese word chi. Essentially, both of these 2 words are talking about vital energy, the life force that animates the body and all matter in the universe. So now in Dragon Ball, when they start powering up and charging, they're actually increasing their ki. And every being in Dragon Ball has ki, but not every single one of them is capable of controlling it, manipulating it, and drawing forth their own ki. And Gohan was actually able to confirm this when he was teaching Videl during Dragon Ball Z episode 207. Next, we're going to be covering the spiritual aspect of Ki, also known as Yuki. Yuki can also be understood as empty energy or that of courage, since oftentimes courageous people stand up and fight in spite of their own fear, exhaustion, or an empty Genki tank. However, when someone tries to cheer you on, that cheering can motivate you and give you energy because of it. Thus, it's as if they're passing on courage or Yuki energy in order for you to go and do something. Ki is something that we can't see with our eyes, but we have to just understand that it's there. But if you could measure Yuki, it would be in the amount of courage that someone has. Yet Yuki is more so based on the amount of fear of another person. If someone fears someone else, then they lose Yuki, and consequently a considerable amount of their power as well. And lastly, we're going to cover Shoki. Shoki is the right-mindedness of a person. It's based on a calm state and a right mind. If someone loses their mind, or otherwise loses control of themselves and their emotions, then they lose Shoki, and a considerable amount of power too. Now, during the Saiyan saga of Dragon Ball Z, when Nappa fought Goku, he lost all of his Shoki because he couldn't stay calm with Goku and was attacking him without any strategy, concentration, or right of mind. This caused him not to be a match for Goku until There are also a few different types of Ki, such as Mortal and God Ki, with the difference being that God Ki...
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakat Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath and Abadah, the elect house of David, that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere citation. Excuse me. Alright, so the topic of this video, and if you're into anime, you know about Dragon Ball Z, which is the work of the late director and author and artist Akira Toriyama, which I believe to the spirit that he was an Israelite because he left quite an impression on the world with his anime work. You know, it inspired people, it gave people hope in, you know, becoming better and doing better with their lives. But aside from that, here, what we're learning here from this video is that there's the explanation of ki or chi, but really it's spiritual power. And we're going over the prerequisites of spiritual power. Genki, which, like you said earlier, translates to how are you, or your health or vigor. And Yuki, which is courage or determination. And then there's Shoki, which is the right mind, like the mindset, the discipline. Okay? And this is all scriptural. It's all, you know, the Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, they know who the Israelites are. This is where they get it from. They get, Dragon Z, they get the spiritual power that they made it to what you call Dragon Z, they get it from the Bible. Okay? Nothing new under the sun. Alright, so we're going to start off with 2 Timothy. This is going to be 2 Timothy chapter 1. Let me get there. 2 Timothy chapter 1. Verse 7. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, and it says here, "For the Most High hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." Okay? Now, he didn't give us the spirit of fear, but of power. Now, when you go into that word power, it goes back to the Greek dynamis, or dunamis, which is pronounced, but which you get dynamic from, and it means, power inherent by virtue of a thing, by virtue of a power inherited by virtue of its nature, of a thing by its nature, or moral spirit and excellence of spirit. Okay. Now when you look up love, it goes back to agape, which is, you know, goodwill, benevolence, and charity. And of a sound mind, meaning discipline, you know, the mindset. Okay? Now, we're going to get, Salaki, give me a second here. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Now, with this, we're going to get 1 Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. In fact, verse 27, it says, "But I keep under my body and bring it in unto subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway." So, if you really think about it through the Spirit, you know, we, this Bible, we have to train ourselves to have the mindset, the right mindset, the right spirit, and the right determination. Okay, we have to practice what we preach and put it into action. Okay, so we have to train like athletes. We're training for an event, but we're spiritual athletes, not carnal ones. Okay, we have to train our minds, because your ultimate weapon is your mind, not your body or your fists. Okay, now we're going to get 1 Corinthians, again, It's going to be chapter 13, verse 4. And it says, charity suffereth long, and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up. So charity, going back to being benevolent, goodwill, merciful, and kindness. So to be charitable is to be patient and kind. And it provoketh not. It doesn't stir up strife, and it doesn't puff itself up. Okay, you can't go wrong by being charitable. Okay, now you get let me see. Where was that? Excuse me. I'm gonna get Galatians. Galatians chapter 5. And the reason why I pulled out, being charitable, being of a kind spirit and being merciful and benevolent towards the poor and the meek and the lowly, that right there is a form of spiritual power, to show that you have the power to help others, to willingly help others, and to be merciful. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. 23, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So it's not against the law to practice these things. These things are right in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. These are, like I said, it goes into energy, courage, and mind, right? So in the biblical words, it would be energy, which would be spirit, courage, which would be faith, and mind would be discipline. So these are, excuse me, these are prerequisites for spiritual power. And this is what we are, practicing and training on a daily basis, because we want to get that spiritual power. And a lot of brothers in this truth, man, they can only dream of what kind of powers the Lord is going to bestow upon them in these last days. Lord willing that we be of the number. Okay, again. Okay. So let's see, so again, to be meek, which is to be humble, and to be temperate, meaning, to have discipline, self-control, and to, be of long suffering, which is to be patient, and to keep the peace, to keep order. Order not just, within a household or within your group of friends or those that are in the faith, but also to keep order within yourself, to make sure that you yourself, are under, that you have yourself under control. In verse 24, it says, and they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. So, with those desires and those lusts and those wants of the flesh, we put those behind us. Okay? We got rid of that stuff. Verse 25, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. 26, let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. So, let's not be desirous of, let's not be covetous, seeking that worldly glory, because that's a sign of pride, and pride leadeth to shame. And I'm gonna get Hebrews going to be Hebrews. Excuse me. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. And it says, "Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." Okay, so this whole process of being in this truth, being tried on a daily basis, it's a disciplinary process. It's to strengthen us, to make us better so that we can achieve that level of spiritual power. Okay, and if you watch Dragon Ball Z, and of course the main character, Goku, he's of a humble and kind spirit, and he trains. He trains to improve himself. He trains to test himself. And you see that he's of a humble spirit. He helps those that are in need and that can't defend themselves. Okay? Goku is practically the example of which we are to be, so to speak. Alright, I'm going to this is going to be the book of James. The book of James chapter 2, verse 18. And it says, yeah. Actually, I'm going to start at, start at verse 17. "Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone." 18. "Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show you, and I will show thee faith, show ye, Slakia, and I will shew thee my faith by my works." So, courage, meaning faith, okay, determination. What are you willing to do? What type of action are you willing to put forth to reach the goal? Okay? Faith requires action. That shows faith. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna get Proverbs. This is going to be Proverbs chapter 25. Proverbs 25 and 28. It says, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." Alright, so if you have no discipline over yourself, you're basically put simply, you have no sense of purpose or direction. You're just doing things out of impulse with no reasoning. Okay? You're basically like a brute beast. You just do it just cuz. Okay? There's a reason why we have reasoning. You have to think before you act. And if you do something, there has to be a reason behind it. I was saying that everything happens for a reason. And it's true. Even though it may seem like just out of the blue or a coincidence, but there is no coincidence. It happened for a reason. You gotta see things from a spiritual standpoint. Alright? Let's see, Yahweh Yahweh Shem Shai is going to lift up that standard when that time comes. And this is Luke 10 and 19, and it says, "Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." Okay? So, Lord willing that we're of the number, we get that power. There's not going to be anything that Esau, Edom, and his technology, or any of these other heathen nations can do to harm us. They will be powerless before us. The tables will have turned. Now I'm going to get the book of Acts. It's going to be Acts chapter 1. Let's see. Acts chapter 1, I'm going to start at Acts chapter 1, verse 5, and it says, "For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence." Verse 6, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, "Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?" Verse 7, and he said unto them, "It is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father hath put in his own power." Okay, so we know not the time nor day, we know not the hour. Okay, but the Father knows, because this is his story. And back then it wasn't the time for Israel to be back in power and rulership. But here in verse 8, it says, "But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth." And the uttermost part of the earth is talking about America. And if we go into the uttermost part, it's going back into the latter end. And we're at the latter end. This is the last captivity. This is the end. America is the end. Now, second entrance, chapter 15, starting at the top, verse 1. "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Verse 3, "Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." Verse 4, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." Okay, so we have to keep that in mind and not let ourselves become, not let our confidence and our determination waver. Okay, Yahweh Shem Shai called us into this for a purpose, to speak boldly for his name's sake, as well as the good news, the gospel. Okay, don't fear not them that come up. Don't be afraid of when you have mockers and scoffers coming up to camp. Let them laugh. Let them say all these horrible things, because at the end of the day, as the old saying goes, laugh now, cry later. Let them laugh now, but when that time comes, man, when everything goes to shit, they're going to start crying. They're not going to have anything. They're going to be in dire straits. They're going to be fearing for their lives, while, Lord willing that we are the elect, we're going to be taken care of. Isaiah 66, I think it's verse 13 or 15, it says, "My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, and ye shall be thirsty." So, Again, like I said, this topic was about energy, courage, and mind, which in the biblical words, it would be spirit, faith, and discipline. And those are the prerequisites for spiritual power. And wisdom is greater than strength. Okay. So I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to the sincere listeners. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat Dabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Ababa Shalom, Barakatam.